Hello everyone, welcome to another brand new episode of the internet's most hated Mafia-themed Geek podcast, the Long Coat Mafia podcast. It is I, the one, the only, Reverend Godfather, the show's main host and frontman. This week, we're going to, yes, I'm flying solo, I know that. I hope you liked last week's episode in regards to Don's interview with the Voodoo Love Gods and discussion about, being independent, an independent band, an artist, and so forth and so on. But this week, we're going to kind of switch gears again and talk about what happened over the past week or two, and that primarily being Disney Plus. That's right, Disney Plus came out over a week ago or so. When this drops, it'll be about 2 weeks. And the thing is, what I found out about is, over the past week and change, is that everybody is talking about The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian. If you look over through YouTube, during this time frame, it was, again, The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian. And that's the thing. It just became annoying because no one was talking about Disney Plus itself. And the few YouTubers and websites that were kind of being overshadowed by The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian. Oh my god, you gotta watch The Mandalorian. Did I get a chance to watch The Mandalorian? No, not yet, but I will. Did I have the trial over the past week? Yes, I did. And recently, I picked up the year subscription. Yes, I paid the $69 for the year subscription. Call me a shill. Call me a whatever you want. Call me it. I don't give a rat's rear in regards to it because many people have stated how, you shouldn't be doing this. Disney's a demon. Disney's, this, that, and the other thing. Disney is, insert evil empire reference here. But the thing is, Disney Plus has a lot of stuff that I, as a consumer, want to watch. Disney Plus has a lot of stuff that, as a geek, I want to watch. So I had the funds to pay for a 1-year subscription to Disney Plus. Therefore, I don't have to worry about, over the next 12 months, when this in essence airs, worrying about a per month subscription on my budget, because now I have it. And so let's talk a little bit. I'll go into more about why I chose $69 in a little bit, but let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good is that apparently they have, so far, they have at least one particular good thing about Disney Plus. Apparently it's The Mandalorian. But they have a lot of great stuff that's already in that. A lot of it is the classic stuff. Bedknobs and Broomsticks, Gargoyles, X-Men Evolution, the 90s X-Men, the original DuckTales, the original Rescue Rangers, Tailspin, the stuff that's been in the vault, the quote-unquote vault, for the past God knows how many years, has been dragged out, put into digital, and dragged back in. So the only place you can find it is on Disney Plus. But that's why it's a good thing right now. It's for the time being, it's $7 a month. $69 for the year. So if you just want that, you don't have to worry about paying on a per monthly basis, considering that right now, most per month services is about, on average, between 10 to $12 a month, and that's roughly, quick math here, let's see, 120 plus, if you want 140 minimum, to maybe about 145, 140, let's say 150 a year for one particular service. But Disney Plus is $72 per year, but they offer the discount. Granted, Hulu Plus, if you don't mind the commercials, baseline is roughly the same thing per year, meaning about $6 a year. So it's roughly on par. Me personally, I have right now Disney Plus, Netflix, Hulu, and I use YouTube. So I don't subscribe to. I use the baseline YouTube. I don't do this whole YouTube Red or YouTube Live BS. I don't use Hulu. Hulu. Yes, I use Hulu Plus, but I use the baseline Hulu service, which is again the $5.99 service, and I get baseline ads. I barely watch a lot of the TV shows that are on there. I might watch one or two Fox stuff, and maybe one or two of the old classic shows that might be available on Hulu, plus some of their movies that are on Hulu and Hulu originals. So overall, if you want to break it down on a per month thing, my cost is like it's $12 for Netflix, and let's say $12 for Disney and Hulu, and that's $24. That's baseline cable access all over. And there's many people are paying who are cord cutters like myself, are paying almost cable TV prices for their streaming services. I just need the bare bones basics, which is Netflix is in essence my HBO and Showtime type of thing, and Hulu is my basically my TV services for NBC, ABC, and Fox, and their own originals. Disney is again a movie channel for me, but it's the classic stuff. But as for other stuff, CW offers their streaming stuff for free for now, but it's free. I don't mind it, and therefore I don't have to pay any additional costs. I'm not paying through the nose. I'm not paying $200 a month for 10 channels I'm going to watch. Anything else I could dish out for a season pass, and it'll still cost me. You hear a lot of folks like, how dare, even though we're talking about Disney Plus right now, they'll tell me, how dare you, do this, you're paying as much as cable, this, that, and the other. I am not. Yet I'm sure there's quite a few suckers out there that want to pay, they want to pay $10 a month, $120 a year just for one show. That's right. They're watching one show on Apple TV. They're watching one show on X, Y, and Z, or whatever streaming service, whether it be NBC, HBO Max, or DC or Warner Brothers Plus. Again, right now we're in the bubble of these streaming services because everybody and their uncle is having a streaming service, and everybody and their uncle is charging through the nose. The thing is, the beauty of it, the reason why a lot of these places are a success is because the consumer's like, I gotta have it. Do you need it? No. you could easily cut back on a lot of it. You don't need an Amazon, a Netflix, a Hulu. You don't need all these. If you want Amazon Prime, because of the shipping services and all that, fine, I get that. I understand that. Go for it. But you don't need to really get an NBC, especially for one show. Some of you out there might say, Rev, you're probably watching Netflix just for Stranger Things, and maybe no. I'll watch. I'll power through loads of other stuff. Like I'll wait until The Walking Dead drops on Netflix, which I still am like a season or two behind, but I'll wait for it to drop on Netflix to power watch it. I'm still waiting on the current last season's NCIS to drop on Netflix so I could power watch through the season. The same thing goes for Blue. I got, thanks to Lloyd, who's been on the show a number of times in the past, Blue Bloods, and by going to his house, it being on like Ion, and we're just watching Blue Bloods for an hour while talking about music or something like that. But the thing is, I'll wait until the current season is on Netflix so I could rewatch, last season on it without any commercials. Even though I watched it kind of on Hulu, but still, I'll watch it on Netflix again without commercials probably. But that's the thing. I do that. I do diversify a lot, but that's why I kind of like the positives for Disney Plus, meaning that it has bed knobs and broomsticks, which I haven't seen in God knows how long. It's been several years. I mean, more than 10, probably more than 20. And yeah, I did watch it. So give me time to watch Mandalorian and everything else. So but over the past week, when I had the week trial, I was watching the original 90s X-Men, which came on Fox. I was watching the Gargoyles, which was also a Fox cartoon. Speaking of which, one of the creators of the original cartoon, Gargoyles, the reason why I say that is that with the popularity of Disney Plus, and everybody watching these classic shows, from folks my age and whoever watched it when it originally came out, we're watching it again. And plus, a lot of the new younger generation, the younger folks younger than me, who never watched it but always heard about the X-Men of the 90s and the X-Men Evolution and so forth and so on. They're watching it now. They're watching Gargoyles. They're watching the original Rescue Rangers and the original DuckTales for the first time. And all these shows were trending on Twitter for a better part of like 2 or 3 days. As I stated, was trying to say, one of the original creators of Gargoyles was saying, it's time with the success of and resurgence of Gargoyles, it may be time to kind of do a kind of a reboot or resurgence of time for the Gargoyles to live again in a way. And I'll be kind of interested to see how that turns out, how they do it. How will it be the aspect of go woke, go broke, or will it be something completely awesome? But meaning the fact that, they have redid the DuckTales show with, I think David Tennant was Scrooge McDuck. I saw, I think the premiere episode, and I loved it. I wish I was able to get the season pass for the remaining episodes. I don't know if they went past the season 2 or season 3. I'll have to check. But from what I heard about that reboot is that they were kind of doing a lot of episodes of that reboot out of order. So you're getting information that you needed later on, which is a bad habit of TV shows, or I should say TV stations, all over. Fox has done it. ABC's done it. Obviously, the Disney Channel's done it. And as we'll get to in a moment, Disney Plus has been doing it too. But there's been a lot of good. So, should you get it for what it's doing and some of the original stuff? Kind of, sort of. If you're a Disney fan and you want to watch a lot of the Disney, old school Disney stuff, and especially if you got kids, yeah, it's great. It's awesome. It's fully family friendly. So go ahead. Especially for $6. If you could only afford something on the cheap and you have $6 a month and you don't want Hulu because of the fact that it's rated, some of the stuff that might be on Hulu might be rated R, even though you could probably adjust the settings for kids, but you just don't want that your kids to go into like your account or what have you. Disney Plus might be the way to go because it'll have its own original content. It has a lot of the classic stuff, and the thing is, they have a good chunk of their Disney catalog. And I should also state, it's like, could this be the quote-unquote Netflix killer? It's not going to be the Netflix killer. What might kill Netflix is the aspect of Paramount doing their own streaming service. Warner Brothers doing their own streaming service. And, like, as of now, Disney doing their own streaming service. And the fact of the matter is, because now Disney also owns Fox, Disney might pull all the Fox-owned stuff, all their own stuff, once the contracts run out for the streaming, and bring it all over to either Hulu, or, because Disney does own a sizable chunk in Hulu, to Hulu or to Disney Plus, meaning all the PG stuff might go to Disney Plus, the PG and the G, maybe the PG-13 stuff, and some of the rated R stuff might go to Hulu. So, it's that aspect that might kill Netflix. But recently, Netflix has come out with news stating that they signed up with Nickelodeon. So, the fact of the matter is, and plus I think the fact that Netflix is also signed up with a couple of anime studios to bring Japanese anime and anime in general to their stuff. So they're not going to be hurting for a while, especially if they bring a lot of Nickelodeon classic stuff, which could be awesome if we see a lot of the classic shows come over to Netflix. That would be awesome. So Netflix, I doubt you're listening to this, but it's something some of you out there who are old schoolers like me and remember the old school stuff when Netflix first started. I mean, not Netflix, Nickelodeon first started, and they had a lot of these weird and interesting and cool stuff. I'm not so much talking, especially Mr. Wizard, but I'm talking about the older stuff too. And yes, even though we do have a reboot and the classic Danger Mouse on Netflix, it was on Nickelodeon for a while. Yes, I'm that old, folks. But let's go back to, we wanted to wait a little bit way too far from Disney Plus. What are the negatives that Disney Plus has and has had over the past week or a week or so? Well, the first day of launch, they had the first day launch issues that a lot of games tend to have, and that is the servers had issues, and it made, therefore there was, because everybody was kind of accessing things at once, certain movies weren't playing right, or people were booted out of the app, or they couldn't sign in. Basically general server issues, because obviously I'm lowball, probably either grossly over exaggerating the numbers or completely lowballing the numbers, meaning they could have estimated for 100 million people signed up and 150 million signed up at least for the trial, to see everything. And everybody tried to sign in for the day one, and they couldn't handle it. And which, like I said, is what usually happens with gaming. They sometimes they think, hey, not that many people is going to be playing our game. Let's take Borderlands 3 or Call of Duty or what have you, and all of a sudden, it's like, hey, pre-orders are showing that, we're getting 50 million people picking up our game on the first day, and when in total, it's like 75, $80 million, 85, or I should say 75 or 80 million people have picked up their game, and everybody's playing multiplayer at the same time, and therefore issues. So that was expected. A lot of people say, oh, you should have planned for this. Sometimes it's hard to plan. They could plan for a top number, and there could always be more people or more sales that top that are unexpected. Some of the other things that have been, that at least I found out, is the fact that, it's so much is that their user interface is somewhat lacking. The reason why I say that is that if you add something to your watch list and watch that movie, go to that movie in your watch list, it is acknowledged that that particular movie is in your watch list. Meaning, if you choose like Aladdin or Lady and the Tramp or Pinocchio, and you go to your watch list and then watch that movie, it tells you in a way that that particular movie is part of your watch list. But if you go into that movie through one of the channels, meaning classic animation or sci-fi or team up, it's going to tell you it's not part of your watch list in any way, shape, or form. Unlike Hulu or I think Amazon and obviously Netflix. For those who have Amazon, please tell me if I'm right and wrong that they do this. Good chance they do. But I'm going to go with the two standards that hits close to home to me, that I know for sure. And I'm going to also include, kind of, as much as Voodoo irks the freaking hell out of me, they have a similar standard. Meaning, what Hulu, Voodoo, and Netflix have is that if you either own the movie or you have the movie as part of your watch list in some way, shape, or form, it lets you know you either own that movie or you have it in your watch list. Meaning, if I go into Vudu and I look at their sales selection, saying that, okay, these movies are on sale this week, and I go through it and I see, like, Kill Bill Volume 1, you own this movie. And if I go scroll down further, the Blob remake, you own this. It'll tell me you own this movie. It won't tell me the price because I own that movie. If I'm in Netflix, if I go through it and I see NCIS, it'll tell me this series is part of my, and I like, wait a minute, did I add this series to my list? And I click on it, it tells me this series is in your list. Or if I don't remember, if I see in like when a current month hits, let's say this month, November, and I'm like, it's like, hey, this, Bad Boys is now back on Netflix. Well, did I add it to my list? Because I always wanted to check it out. And I go into, and I search Bad Boys in Netflix, and I see it, and I click on it. It tells me this movie is part of your watch list already. Same thing with Hulu. But with Disney Plus, if I add, see through the list, and I see something like Star Wars, it doesn't tell me it's already part of my list. Meaning what tends to happen is because Disney Plus is new, like most new subscribers now, they go through, or I will go through, choosing the movies that I want to have part of my watch list. And like most movies, like Star Wars and maybe like Avatar or The Replacements or something or something that may be part of it, like Rookie of the Year or something. These movies are under multiple categories, and if I'm spending 20 minutes going through a couple of categories, adding stuff to my list, and I see, let's take Star Wars again. It doesn't tell me I already added that to the list. Whereas Vudu, Hulu, and Netflix will tell me I already added that particular movie to my list, to my watch list to watch later. And if I because it doesn't tell me that on Disney Plus, I could accidentally either A, remove it from my list, or add it again and have it show up multiple times on my watch list, which it did the first day I was on Disney Plus. That's right, I had 3 copies of Star Wars A New Hope, 3 copies of Avatar, and I think 2 copies of Lilo and Stitch in my watch list because of that issue. The other issue is when let's say you're in the middle of watching a particular movie and you look at your clock or the time on your phone and you're like, oh crap, I gotta get to work. If I don't leave now, I'm going to be late. Or, oh crap, I gotta head out. I gotta go pick up this now. Or I gotta do X, Y, and Z. You back out of the app, or you back out of the wherever you're watching it. You go do it. You come back. You go to rewatch it. Vudu will tell you, all right, this is where where you left off. Do you wish to resume? Same thing with Hulu, and the same thing with Netflix. Would you like to resume it? Yeah, I said that right. And I know for a fact that in regards to buying movies off of Amazon, they do the same thing. Would you like to resume this movie? Disney Plus doesn't tell you that. It acts like this is the first time you are watching that particular movie. Whatever movie it is. I could watch Flight of the Navigator right now, or before I leave for work. When I come home from work, if I wish to continue to watch that movie, it won't tell me, do you wish to continue? It pretty much tells me, do you wish to start from the beginning? And when I click on play, it will pick up where I left off. And this kind of is annoying. It's an issue that has to be corrected. I get they don't want to be like the big boys like Hulu and Netflix and Amazon. But in a way, you kind of have to. Because that's how it is. People like to be notified. Because some people are forgetful. They're not stupid, but they're forgetful. You got to remind them a little bit. It happens to me. It happens to other people too. So, you got to remind them. You already started watching this. It's already part of your watch list. Another issue that they've been having is aspect ratio problems. Meaning, some of the original shows, let's say, like the original DuckTales or the original Chippendale Rescue Rangers or something like that, they were filmed in one way. And now, due to the fact of modern TVs and flat screen TVs and digital format, they're now expanded to fit your screen. And doing this, some of the stuff has been cut. Has not been adjusted to show you exactly everything that was supposed to be on screen. So therefore, there's a lot of stuff that has been cut out. The main problem with this, where the biggest issue of where this has been seen, is with Simpsons, because the current when you find the Simpsons on Disney Plus, it's the complete run, almost the complete run of the Simpsons. I think it's from the beginning up until I think last season, and some of the earlier seasons they were in one particular format, and because Disney wanted to adjust for the current format of TVs, they clipped out a lot of visual sight gags that the frame rate, or should I say the aspect ratio for that particular episode was made for. It was made for shows, TVs that back in the mid to late 90s. So everything was cut out. Yes, Disney has said, okay, we found this out. We understand your complaints. We're going to adjust it back to the original format. So some of the older episodes are going to be in the original format. Some of the newer episodes, as the format has increased over the decades, over the seasons, if you will, we will make sure they are formatted to show that. And one of the things that also showed out is that there were a couple of episodes, not just with The Simpsons, but other episodes that were throughout other shows that were either on Disney or on Fox, were not showing up for whatever reason. And that reason might be the fact that they were banned because they touched on content that for the time that they thought was easy, simple and easy enough, but they were maybe a little bit too adult oriented, or they were too controversial for their time. So Disney, to err on the safe side, decided, well, we're not going to put that out there. Again, this is one of the aspects where they also failed, because The Simpsons, a lot of fans were noticing that there was at least one episode in particular, I think it was the Michael Jackson episode, that was not included on the streaming. And they were like, why? And Disney gave this convoluted excuse to, oh, this is the why. And it turns out it was complete horse hockey. And they went, oh, okay, you found us out. We'll put it up. We're sorry. Give us a little bit to bring it into, the digital age. So, another reason why is because maybe the reason why I say banned episodes is like, I know South Park has at least 2 episodes that were banned. I don't think you can even find them on DVDs nowadays because of certain religious aspects we won't get into right now. Please look them up on YouTube. Just search up banned episodes. You'll get a half dozen videos, if not more, on episodes that were banned. If you narrow it down to South Park banned episodes, you'll get it. That's the best thing I could say for right now, because it's a little bit complicated and convoluted maybe to explain. What else has happened? They were also, people noticed that, we're talking about diehard fans of certain shows. Not to mention, you could also look up the correct order the episode should be in, because people were noticing not just the diehard geeks of these shows. I'm not sure which shows they were, but people were reporting the fact that there were. I saw one article saying Disney, some of the series on Disney Plus, they were out of order, and I didn't see which shows they were. But this is not a new practice in a way. Yes, they should have put them in the correct order. It's easy to do that, but they're not the only service that has. Granted, channels have done this before, meaning that Fox has aired Firefly out of order. Sometimes they've ABC's aired episodes out of order. So is NBC and Fox and Sci-Fi, and every channel has aired stuff out of order. And as much as I want to say, streaming services tend to do the same thing. I'm sorry. I shouldn't apologize. The reason why I say it is that I think both Netflix and Hulu have Yu-Gi-Oh! On their streaming services. And there are episodes that are completely out of order. Or meaning that they have a run of episodes that should be grouped together. They're not grouped together. They are inserted into a series run that makes the series no sense. I own the original Thundercats on DVD. They did the same thing on the DVDs, where it was a 5-part series that aired completely during the week. They mixed it into regular episodes. It was stupid. So, let's continue with one of the last things that Disney Plus tended to have an issue with, or say an issue with Disney Plus, is that it's not even been out a month. Not, as of this recording, not even out 2 weeks, or I should say it's been out a little bit more than 2 weeks as of this recording, and it's been hacked. That's right, it's been hacked. Thousands upon thousands of emails and passwords have been taken from Disney Plus, and I would like to say sold on the dark web, maybe. The reason why I say it is because some reports have stated that as some of the accounts that were kind of sold, I'm using air quotes, and yes, I'm saying I'm using way because yes, it's bad, and I'm sad. I'm upset that it happened, but you'd think that some of the accounts were being sold for maybe hundreds of dollars or something like that. No, they were being sold as little as most of the accounts were like sold for like $3. And even more than that were just plain given away, maybe, according to some reports. That's right, some people, like, they were just plain given away. Like, here, take it. You want Disney Plus? Yeah, you got Disney Plus now. And the only reason why people were noticing that their accounts were hacked in in a way, or stolen, is that they were starting to notice that there was another profile being used, or another profile added to their account, like how Hulu and Netflix, and I'm not sure about Amazon. Amazon users, please email the show or send us a message on Facebook. Our email is longcoatmafia@gmail.com. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/The Long Coat Mafia Podcast. Feel free to send us a message if Amazon Prime Video has a kind of a profile aspect to it. So, Disney Plus does have that aspect that, which is also a plus, that you could add another account to it, meaning another profile to it. So if you want to have all classic animation stuff part of yours, and your significant other wants, a lot of the live act, more modern stuff, and plus you can have a profile for your kids. So what they were noticing is that there was additional profiles being added to their account, and it was nobody they knew, or there was just a single account holder like myself, and there was like another account added to their account, and all of a sudden they couldn't log in, they couldn't have access to any of it because it was pretty much stolen. So I guess having more than one account is safe. And let's get into it, because prior to, when I was thinking what else can I say about Disney Plus, is the whole one of the things that people were worried about is sharing their account. And Disney I think heard this, or heard the aspect of sharing it because what they were kind of gunning for, people saying, "Oh, we're not gonna let anybody, we're not allowing the sharing of passwords or have multiple accounts on, so forth and so on." It's like they made it seem like little did they realize that people had cell phones, they have smart TVs, they have laptops or desktop computers that, or they have Roku devices or they have consoles. Meaning, if it's a family member, family of let's say a classic family of three, where parent A, parent B, and child, to be very neutral, each has a separate, device. They could watch each thing on a different screen because they have different preferences. And that was one main reason why people were kind of upset. It's like, wait a minute, I have a wife and 2 kids. The kids could watch it, through their consoles in their rooms. I might want to watch it in the living room. My significant other might want to watch it on their phone in the bedroom, or on the smart TV in the bedroom, or with the Roku device in the bedroom. So that was the aspect. It's like, you're hurting us. We're not sharing it's the same password, but it's going to be multiple profiles watching different stuff. And I think Disney heard that and they understood that. They saw the logic in it, and it's kind of what Netflix is doing, is because you hear a lot of times people, not so much people, but sites maybe like Kotaku or other sites that just want the clickbait, saying, "Oh, Netflix is shutting down multiple users and sharing passwords." Yar, 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 yar. What they're gunning for is the people that are selling, kind of like, "Oh, if you pay me $5, I'll add you a profile and I'll give you my my login and pass." It's not the aspect of your buddy across town that doesn't have, he's down on his luck. He's looking for a job, but he's got internet, but he had to cut his cable down or cut away his cable because spending $300 a month on internet and TV was way too much. But spending maybe less than $100 on internet to help find a job was good for him. Thus, you're lending him your Netflix or your Disney Plus password, so he has some entertainment other than YouTube. That they're okay with, because it's just maybe you and one other person that are sharing it, and that's fine. And there are some people that I know that, because something like Netflix is like $12 a month, they don't. The person, like, say, Joey down the block or your buddy down the block, it's like, wants Netflix that might not really can't afford the $12. You tell him, "Hey, because you're a buddy of mine, here's my login and pass," and he just, out of the good graces of their heart, give you a couple extra bucks a month for either to toss towards the fee or to help share the fee. They're okay with that. Netflix and Disney Plus has come out. They're kind of okay with that. It's the aspect of the people that are out there that are putting 10 different profiles on their account, or 50 different profiles on their account, and everything past maybe the third or fourth one, they're getting $5, $10, $15, $20 off of. It's been known to happen. I've seen articles in reference to that. That's what they don't want, is, one person paying for the account and having 15 profiles and all 15 people watching it at the same time. It's one thing when they start to notice 4 people watching at the same time. That's, I kind of condone that, because I've done it with a few people, that at least one other person that I know of It's like, here's my Voodoo password. Here's my the reason why I gave them my Voodoo password is because how I have my Voodoo account set up is that there's no one who could buy movies but through me, and because I buy movies through my console, therefore they can't buy movies through how they watch Vudu. And with Hulu and Netflix, they have their own profile, so it's just me and them, and therefore they can't, they could just easily hop on and hop off, and Netflix and Hulu is okay, and even Disney Plus will be okay with that because it's just one other person. Because Disney, Netflix, and Hulu understand, I'm sure Amazon as well, realize there are multiple people in homes, meaning there could be two parents and several children in home all watching different things at the same time. So there's that. So let's move on to a little bit different, because there's something else we haven't really talked about much. We haven't had social commentary on in a little while, and it's a little bit of controversy that's been brewing, and that I've been seeing a lot of videos about that I have to deep dive to find out more. And that's been about Elizabeth Banks, I believe her name is, and Charlie's Angels. I'm sure that I could hear my co-host cringe right now. I could hear Big Candy cringe, because what has happened is the current iteration of Charlie's Angels, which came out within the last week or so, starring Kristen Stewart, and I'm bringing up the cast list if IMDb. Yeah, Kristen Stewart, Naomi Scott, and plus many other folks, including Patrick Stewart and the writer, producer, so forth and so on, Elizabeth Banks herself. And basically, why is there controversy around this movie? Well, for one thing, it flopped. Over the past week, as of this recording, it brought in maybe a little bit over $10 million domestically. I heard there has been, maybe it's closer to 20 million worldwide, maybe 25 million worldwide. It's not that. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments, or again email me and for correction. Just that it's a flop. It is a stinker. It's a flop. And the thing is, a lot of people are asking, why is it a flop? And the first person that you turn to is they look at the critics. Why is this a flop? Well, apparently it's supposed to be an action movie, a spy movie. Apparently it's neither. It has very little action, and as for a spy movie, from what I heard, it has very little of that. When you look at the Charlie's Angels movies, the original one that was starring Lucy Liu and Drew Barrymore back at the beginning of this century, the year 2000. The sequel, Full Throttle, came about 2 years later. I say 3 years later. And the thing is, those movies were a success. They had a lot of action. They had a lot of they might have not have been the best quality of movies, meaning that they kind of erred on this aspect of it. They came off maybe as a sci-fi original movie, but they had a lot of action and spy qualities to it, and meaning they did spy stuff and they had action stuff. Yes, were the movies cheesy as hell? Yes. But did I love them? Yes, I did. Do I have a Lucy Liu crush? Yes, I do. Sue me. Come at me, bro. But still, it is the aspect of there was not much, and the according, I think, one or two, that it was like heavily, there was like an agenda being forced down people's throats. It's like it was leaned heavily on identity politics and everything else, and little on the action and the spy qualities of it. And that's why when that word got out, not many people flocked to it. And the people that did see it, when they came out, they said pretty much, you don't want to see this movie. But I'm gonna launch my browser. You're gonna hear it chime up and tell me that you have spam, or here's all the spam aspects of things. Nope, it's not. I'm gonna bring up Rotten. Let's see. Yep, there it is. Top search, Rotten Tomatoes. That is bringing up, and let it bring us. Let's do. There it is. Charlie's Angels. Really? I was trying to search, and you had to do all this other stuff instead. Okay, there is Charlie's Angels. Right now, critic-wise, it has 54% and a 79% audience score. But more, you have to figure for the critic side, mainstream critic, that's from 163 people, critics, and 1,500 and change from an audience score reporting in. But overall, I've been hearing a lot of the bad. And some of the bad, let's see if I could bring up the 54%. One person stated, rather having a story, the film has a string of rote action sequences, and each of these sequences goes the same way. One person has stated, Charlie's Angels should have been glamorous fun on a Saturday night out kind of movie. Suddenly staying in with a ice pack on your head never looked so good. More discouraging than the fact that it got remade is the fact that the story's moral hasn't changed one bit since Diaz, Barrymore, and Lou were the ones telling it. At least that movie had a catchy song by Destiny's Child. Another person stated, "You're left with a Charlie's Angels that doesn't know what to make of itself, and for the first time feels out of style." It's like we got. One person said, if we've got to have a mediocre studio blockbuster, we might as well bring a little diversity to the roster of people making them. But we'd all be better off if Feminism just got a new talent agent and started making more worthy jobs. And splat. That's one of the things that I said. Another person said, Banks got the soundtrack right, and the costumes and hairstylists are impressive, but the action set pieces are not, and the story itself is weak. Spy thriller with a collection of characterized men. And also, another person says, the film comes across as an overly produced music video for its much hyped soundtrack, and this weighs the screenplay down, especially in the first half. That's what people are saying. Those are the actual critics. But that's one of the things. That's what the critics are saying. You heard them. Those were snippets from the reviews. Those were all the splat stuff. But what I want to say is, again, it made not even 10 million, maybe 12 million over the first week. It was a flop. And Miss Banks has come out and stated over the past week in regards to why people haven't seen the movie, why is it a flop. She just said that men refused to see this movie. Men should have came to see this movie. Men didn't want to see this movie. They should have came. They didn't want to see this movie. It shows that men don't like to watch women in positive roles and strong roles. And when a few people approached her and said, what about, again, despite the controversy, what about Captain Marvel? That made $1 billion this year. What about Wonder Woman? That made over $800 million. And Miss Banks has stated, in her most infinite wisdom, oh, those were just comic book movies. They had a stronger audience. Oh, guess what? Men were part of those audiences. I saw both. In regards to that, I also reported on the controversy behind Miss Larson and her antics in regards to Captain Marvel, which was an okay film. And apparently, Miss Banks doesn't realize the original, I won't say the original, the ones that were out 20 years ago. The one with Miss Barrymore, Miss Diaz, and Miss Liu made over $200 million, I think, domestically. That should tell you something. You need to do a better story. It needs to be action-packed. It doesn't have to be the best. And you can leave identity politics out of your fucking movie. Yes, I'm going to have to leave the E on this episode. So, you can leave the identity politics out of the episode. She has stated prior into not so many words that she kind of left or put in identity politics into this. That she pushed it. And in not so many words, she has stated that men shouldn't be watching this type of movie. So, in a way, you could say, Miss Banks, men listened to you and stayed home. Now you're griping that the same men you told to stay home and not watch your movie should have came out and watched your movie. Great thinking. This is why a lot of folks like myself hate Hollywood. They hate the aspect that Hollywood has become so identity politic driven that they either A, have to put so much bad identity politics that the only thing that they would want to, the folks nowadays, the audience nowadays, are willing to see are Marvel movies or superhero movies in general. And I say that because of that they would only want to see is Wonder Woman, Aquaman, or whatever flavor of the month Marvel Cinematic movie is out there. Therefore, that's why we're also sick and tired of seeing Disney. We're going to remake X movie in our back catalog as a live action. We don't want it. We want something original. And so far, the only thing original, seemingly, is superhero movies. Or the aspect of, I don't know what else comes out. I don't watch it. Watch previews. I don't go to the movies that often. As much as I should. Should have went out and seen Zombieland 2 Double Tap. I hear it was, I think, pretty good. But one of the other movies I want to see is a movie I saw the trailer for. It's called Mandela Effect. It looks damn good. The trailer made me want to go see it. That I saw the trailer that I saw. It intrigued me. I want to see it. And there's also a reason why there are many people like me that advocate for going to see indie films, renting indie films, where Amazon is the one, even though that they, earlier this year, they kind of trimmed back a lot of movies that the indie creators had on there. If you haven't listened to it, I do recommend going back and checking. I think the title of the episode is Amazon Gives Indie Movie Makers Prime Reason to Be Pissed, or something along those lines. Go check it out. It was a great interview we did with Mark Byrne, and who is the director, producer, plus I think writer for Bigfoot, which was a part of, or I should say am a part of in a way. So it's why we tell you guys and gals, go see indie creators. Because there are a lot of indie creators that are out there that they realize that there is boxes to be checked in a way, if you want to call them that, or there's a niche that there is no person of color, or there's no woman creator out there, or I should say a person of color creator, or a woman creator. So they go out and actually do the movies themselves, but nobody wants to watch it. And the thing is, I might have limited funds, but there have been times I found indie stuff on Vudu or Amazon that I've actually went and watched, and I enjoyed. Again, early this year I don't know which episode it is, because I was about this time last year, I was contacted by an indie creator and said, you mind watching my movie? It's on Netflix. This is what it's called. Not Netflix. It was on Amazon. Do you mind watching it and, doing a review of it? And turns out he was a person of color, and I enjoyed the movie. I mean, it was like a breath of fresh air. He did it wonderfully. He mixed two different storylines very, very well. I think I got a chance to see the movie in like late January, maybe. I think between January and March, I watched it. And it was done very well. I remember seeing it. It was how he intertwined everything was beautifully done. And I think he got the kick out that he didn't think I'd watch his movie, and I did, and I gave it a rave review. That to the point that he not only loved the fact that I gave the review, he used it for his own promotion, that I gave it a rave review. And the thing is, there are many people. The sad thing is, there are also many people out there that do what I do, and do what our show tends to do, is promote indie creators, whether there's someone like John Johnson, Mark Byrne, or whomever. I think I have to speak to her to see if it's actually out yet. I haven't seen any word in regards to it being finished. If I get a chance to speak to her again, I have to see how the movie's coming along. And that's with Miss, I think her, again, I'm probably, if she's listening, I'm sorry I'm mispronouncing her name. Her name's Geneva Rossi. She's been on the show before. She's a very wonderful woman. And she did a short. We met her, I want to say, over 4 years ago. She's one of the first people that we interviewed. And she, at that particular event, was showcasing her short, Attack of the Killer Chickens. It was a wonderful short. I enjoyed it. And it got opted to do a full-length movie. I think maybe about an hour and a half to 2 hours. I have to see how well it's coming along. And the fact of the matter is, she's the one doing the movie. She's the one producing, directing, and starring in it. And so, therefore, why not? You're not going to hear about these type of movies. The only way you could find out about these movies is if you go to a convention, especially like a horror convention, and seeing these folks in the dealer room selling their stuff. In other cases, it's very rare you're going to discover these people on Amazon. Amazon Prime, despite the fact that it has a lot of mainstream stuff, it has a lot of indie creators. I'm not sure exactly how to find them. I only know of two, and that's John Johnson with Darkstone Pictures, and Mark Byrne and his channel on Amazon Prime. I don't remember links. I might have to catch them. I don't know if Darkstone has a link, but either way, but it's that aspect. There's no local aspect of you seeing these creators out and about. I do recommend going. That's one of the things you should do, is go to cons. Sometimes you see these promoters, indie filmmakers, promoting their stuff at local pop culture shows. I know Mark Burns set up at several different conventions promoting his movies, and had a lot of his crew there signing DVDs, signing photos and posters to sell to people. Get an autographed poster from people who done took part. Without that. The fact of the matter is, that's one way to, have a lot of folks buy your stuff. And the thing is, people just walk by. They promote. They say you should go to these events and buy from these creators, and yet they don't. I'm coming off as a little bit of hypocritical on that, because there were several creators I could have bought from at this year's Baltimore Comic Con, but I just didn't have. I literally didn't have the funds. But it's one of the reasons why I included the one creator on the episode, and plus they're in the videos too, telling about their stuff. And it's that aspect. I want to promote them. I want to at least share their stories. And hopefully you out there listening, if you stumble across this rinky-dink little podcast of mine, go out and check these folks out. Visit our YouTube channel. Hear our podcast. Hear us promote these folks. And it's why I love having these folks on and hearing their side, their tales of what they're doing, how they're doing, their process. It's why we're trying to set up other folks to come on here. And hopefully we'll have one other person come on here and telling her side of things as well. And I almost say that's pretty much not. I could rant on more about Elizabeth Banks in regards to her, griping about how men should be kind of watching her stuff. And the thing is, people don't realize that when you shove identity politics down people's throat, or you insult your audience in any way, shape, or form, whether it's saying that if you're X, Y, and Z, you shouldn't be watching this. Or if you support this, you shouldn't be watching this. Or if you don't like this, just shut up. Literally shut up. If you made a product, that should be consumed by a wide amount of audience, when I want to say 85 to 90% of your audience doesn't give a rat's rear about your identity politics, don't put it in your movie. Well, people gotta know, when you put it in your movie and people don't show up because it's in the movie, should tell you, don't do that. And what do? You keep doing that. Well, people gotta know. People don't want to watch it. There's a reason why get woke, go broke is a thing. And it's stupid. And even Paul Feig, or Feige, whatever the freaking his name is, the guy who pretty much directed Ghostbusters 2016. Those of you who've been listening a long time know my viewpoints about it. And the thing is, back when the movie was being made, Paul insulted the audience, degraded the audience, and people hated the movie. A sizable chunk hated the movie for various reasons. And he pretty much said, well, it was just, to kind of paraphrase, it was all these white male incels. And he just went off and just doubled down and tripled down against the audience, while there was a wide range of people that plainly watched it, didn't like it, and were vocal about it. And because I said my thing, I out loud, my co-host, Big Candy, to at least say his thing. If Zombie Bunny ever came back to the show after during that time, she would have been more than happy to give her side of her review, her full review. But the thing is, you can't do this. And to kind of go into a little bit more, I'm hearing, I haven't seen it yet, but I want to dig into it to see how true a lot of the reports are, and that is the aspect of Batwoman kind of doing the same thing, and that's why more and more people are jumping ship from watching the show. I think when the show first aired, it had close to 2 million viewers watching it. And since then, it's been losing viewers by the truck, not the bus load, by the truckload, the bus load, the train load, each and every week. And even though that, from what I heard, CW is giving Batwoman a second season, I guess they're going to be revamping it a little bit next season to kind of maybe hopefully fix their errors and that some might have said. But I'll give it a watch. I have to watch it to see exactly how bad it is. I've been vocal in regards to a lot of the CW stuff being a little bit weighing a little bit heavy on the identity politics side with some of their shows than others. And that was why some of their shows last season have kind of dwindled down to the wayside, and were shocked to me that they kind of kept those shows for a brand new season this year, despite the dropping ratings. I guess one of those shows I want to say was Supergirl. As much as not crazy about the pants, but I could learn to live with that, and they've been doing better with the episodes. Because I want to say the reason why I didn't really watch a lot of last year is because they were doubling down on the identity politics side a little bit too much, so I stepped away. And this year, surprisingly, they haven't done that, which is kind of a good thing, because I just want to see Supergirl kick ass and a good story. I don't want the identity politics, and a lot of people share roughly the same viewpoint as I do, and I don't want to ramble on about it because it's going on too much. Hopefully, the year's not over yet. We're doing very well show-wise. I'm in the process of upgrading a lot of the stuff that we need for the show, thanks to a few people like Don, who's pointed out errors in how we do things in a good way, an honest, good way, meaning that with working with him, I've discovered we need longer chords, and the fact of the matter that we need a new soundboard. That also complies with what my co-host Big Kenny has told me. Time for maybe an upgrade. And last year, we kind of got a brand new computer because the last one kind of failed on us. This year, it was, in essence, new soundboard. It's not that the old soundboard is failing us, but it's starting to show its age, and it's time to get a new board. And the one that we're looking at is a little bit pricey, but it's made for folks like myself. It does a little bit more and allow us to kind of multitask a little bit better, meaning that it will as soon as we get it in hand, we might do a video on, not so much unboxing it, but kind of telling you guys and gals out there what it does or what it's supposed to do, instead of telling you guys and gals now. But till then, we're going to kind of end it on this note. I rambled on long enough, so if you want to join in the conversation in any way, shape, or form, like whatever problems have you all come across in regards to Disney Plus? What are your thoughts on? Did you see the new Charlie's Angel movie? What are your thoughts on it? You could share those thoughts by sending us an email at longcoatmafia@gmail.com or leaving us a comment on either the pin post on Facebook. Our Facebook page is, again, facebook.com/The Long Coat Mafia Podcast. You can also leave us a message there if you want. While you're there, would you be so kind to click that subscribe button, or I should say that like button, like and follow us. We're so close to the 200 mark, so please do that. And whatever posts that you see and you want to smile, and hopefully I got to be more active, but right now I'm in my busy season at my 9 to 5, so me trying to update our Facebook and our Twitter has been kind of tough over the past few weeks, and it's just going to get worse. So I've been trying to do a little bit both. And speaking of Twitter, you can also DM us on Twitter and on Instagram. Our Twitter handle is Longcoat Mafia. While you're there, please click that follow button. If you so being kind, we tend to sometimes be a little bit more active on Twitter than Facebook. Also, while you're on Instagram, our Instagram handle is Longcoat Mafia. We tend to put up photos of where we're at, what we're doing. So while you're there, click that follow button if you so will. If you like some of the photos, click that heart button. We tend to put up memes and other stuff on our Instagram too. So there's that. And as per, we do have a YouTube channel. Trust me when I say this, in order to find us, you have to search for the Longcoat Mafia Podcast, because as of right now, we have 25 subscribers, which has blew me away this year, because at the start of the year, I think we still had maybe 5, so we gained like 20 subscribers. So all of you who out there who have subscribed to our YouTube channel, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I do recommend to find it, search for the Longcoat Mafia Podcast. Trust me when I say, even though the YouTube is in complete butthead and tries to recommend Trenchcoat Mafia, please just type in the Longcoat Mafia Podcast. We are the only channel that comes up, the first search for when it comes up. I've heard people saying that, to kind of find our channel, it's way down the list, even though our content is very, I wouldn't say family friendly, but it's core lines with our core values of the show, in regards to trying to bring all of you who can't go to these events. Again, thank you all for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed already, again, please head on to YouTube. If you have an account, search for the Longcoat Mafia Podcast, hit that subscribe button. If you like any of the videos that are up there, click the like button on them. You can leave a comment on what you see. Even a lot of our podcast episodes do get loaded up. I don't know what the current changes with YouTube. That's something that I'm deep diving into right now. I'm trying to find out in regards to whether or not our episodes will be posting up to YouTube due to current changes going on over at YouTube. Sad to say. But what else? What else can I say? Please, if you want, you can listen to the episodes there. Leave a comment underneath those episodes to let us know what you think and join in the conversation. Let's see. Where to find us? That's where we're going right now. Depending on how you're listening to us, we can be found on your desktop or laptop computer by going to either iTunes / Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, or you can just plain old wander to our main website, which is thelongcoatmafia.podbean.com, and getting any number of our not just this episode, but any number of episodes going way back to the beginning, and listening to on your player of choice or streaming straight from the website. That's right, you could stream any of our episodes on the website, which again is thelongcoatmafia.podbean.com, or you could download and listen to them at your leisure, which means because you have the ability to download these episodes from our website, you can easily snag our episodes from your local library's computer and listen to them at home at your leisure, or put them on your portable player of choice, and whatever that might be. And if you listen to us on the go, we are available on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, and plus where podcasts are found normally, because we're on a wide variety of podcast catching apps, as well as the Podbean app, which I believe allows you to download any episode going straight to the beginning. Plus, if you go to our website, the only way you're able to snag our shows through a mobile device through our website is using the Podbean app. So I recommend you bookmarking our website and using the Podbean app, is because they may be a little bit more reliable than like something like iTunes or Apple Podcasts, because there's been times I've been unsubbed by popular podcasters from iTunes, or iTunes, for whatever reasons, no longer can find that particular podcast, and they're on the same location. So, plus, if you're on our website, you can find out more about us. And even though I kind of have to update it a little bit, because I want to add Don to our cast of characters in a way, because over the years he's been more and more regular in reference to sharing content with us. So there's that. And what else? We do have I forgot to mention, we do have a Mixer.com channel, and we do have a Twitch channel. Our Mixer.com channel is mixer.com/LCMP, and the whole thing is in capital letters. Our Twitch channel is twitch.tv/Longcoat Mafia PD, I think it is. Longcoat Mafia Pod. Links are in the description on our website, on the show notes. We do have a TikTok channel. It's only got one video on it right now. I think our TikTok thing is LCM Pod, or LCM Podcast. So look us up, add us a friend. Hopefully we'll figure out how to do more videos and add more soon. So that's that. All the links in regards to social media will be down below. So take care. See you all next week. And who knows what next week shall hold in regards to episode content. I have to get in contact with a few people to see if they will be able to record on a Tuesday or on Wednesday, but I don't know, because it's right before Thanksgiving. So take care. See you guys and gals next week in a way. So take care. I am out of here.
You've been listening to the Longcoat Mafia Podcast, the internet's most hated and mafia-themed geek podcast.